Hello and welcome to Flooring Models Kit View Time. Today we've got is Venom's latest kit. This is the 1/72nd scale Avro Anson T21, although there is other versions of this one out there. And I say new, it's new to me. All right, we've just got these in at the PM store. So Matt sent me one down to have a look at. So beautiful, classic little Anson. Obviously we've seen Airfix 2 one, but this is the newer 72nd scale one. So again, there is a few versions of this out there, so keep an eye out for other ones as well. But roughly, they're all going to be roughly the same kit with some modifications for the different versions. So down in here, we've got this one, 72nd scale. This is the T21, so it's a sort of trainer version. And then down in here, we've got the usual thing, another beautiful check kit. Kit number for this one is 72165. And again, we've got some bits on there, not too much to talk about on here. Weird box, look, it's got this lip thing that runs right the way through it, which is so good, I can't even get in it. Okay, well, sort of, yeah, okay, so it folds underneath, that's what that's doing. I wasn't quite sure what it was doing. So, usual thing. Think sort of limited run. We've done a series of these kits at the moment, but don't be put off by it. Really nice detail in these ones. So we've just got one simple bag down in here with the decals inside it. First of all, we've got obviously full details of the Anson itself, or the C19 or the T21, depending which you want to call it. And then down in here, we've got your instructions. So obviously we've got your parts call outs down in here and then going right the way through it. So it looks like it's an 8-seater, as we can see. Right the way through. It is simple, but again, you could detail this. It's a 72nd scale kit on the simpler side of things, but again, you could go in, give this thing harnesses, detail it up, go to your heart's content with this particular one. So with that one down in there, instrument panel, rudder pedals they are, if you're wondering what they are, windows being fitted in there as well, all right? We've got a little bit of framework, because don't forget, this is a little bit of a fabric bird as well. So we've got the major framework going down on the inside. Two halves going together, obviously with, we've got the side panels down in here as well. And then obviously we've got the actual instrument panel with the rudder pedal, all needs to be fitted in and lined up as you go, all right? Wings are pretty much just one major spar underneath, two wings on the top go in there. We've got the engine and then engine cowls fitted onto the front, just like that. So nothing too exciting down in there. Then obviously you've got the main fuselage, tailplanes being fitted. They are one piece. And then obviously it's going to be going down onto the actual wings itself. Clear parts all being fitted, props being fitted, aerials being fitted, so forth and so on. Main gear, pretty much straightforward, as you can see just down in here with that one going together, and then installing and fitting those. We've got the exhaust pipes going on, a couple of nav lights, tail wheel system being putted down on there as well. And that completes your Anson. It's literally that simple, but some nice options. So we've got the nice colourful ones down in here from 1948 as well. So we've got the Reserve Flying School as well down in there as well. And we've got the University Air Squadron of Cambridge in 1951 with their colours on that particular one down in there. So again, two nice colourful little options down in there like that. The kit itself is in a single bag. Where's the tab for getting into? In this lovely, I would love to call it a brown colour. I'm going to be polite and call it, was it coyote brown sort of colour? So we've got that one down in there. The decals, I won't get out of the bag. You can probably see they're quite nice, quite chic, sweet. Good. There's a little bit of carrier film around them, to be honest. You might be able to notice that on there. But generally, you've got nice solid markings, and not because of its scale, but obviously we don't have any major details on that one. Clear part we'll look at the moment. So the actual sprues themselves, as you can see, one-piece tailplanes right the way through. Again, no sort of molds on these ones with like locating pins and things like that. You might just need to give this a little bit of clean up here, there and everywhere. But actually, I can't see any sort of flash or sink marks or sort of mismolds or anything else like that. So that's very nice. It is like a funny plastic, very similar to what I'm working on something at the moment. It's like again, another limited run type plastic. It's very difficult to explain how it is. It's not that sort of clunky, sort of clinky type plastic. It's more the sort of soft side, but it is hard. It's very difficult to explain or do it. It's got that feeling of almost resin-like, but it's not. It is definitely injection molded. Generally, though, when you look at it, you can see some really nice attention to detail. So we've got all that sort of rib and former coming through for the fabric covers on there. Fabric covered tail as well, right the way through. So basically, it's fabric right the way up to the front edge obviously the tops of the wings and that, very nicely done. And a nice mix of recessed and raised details over this one right the way through. So that's very, very nice indeed. We've got your seats, we've got your props, we've got your exhaust, we've got your main gear, we've got your instrument panel, obviously door into the cockpit, I would assume. Wheels as well, pretty straightforward. Engine cowling's very nice, mixture of raised and recessed detail. Incredibly fine panel lining on that. You can catch it in the light. Very fine indeed. Very, very nice. Some of that framework for inside the actual main cabin itself. Perhaps there could be a little bit of flash just there. Just noticed it. Thick flash. Don't know. I wouldn't go chunking away at that until you're sure. I get the other one on and then sand that off afterwards. But again, generally though, very, very nice indeed. And again, these tails obviously molded in control surfaces, and again fabric covered control surfaces over aluminium wings. Looking very nice indeed. And generally, even on the blind side, you can see it's not too bad at all. It's pretty clean, crisp, sharp. These mating surfaces, very nice indeed. All right. And again, it's quite nice. Got a nice good chunk of plastic to run with to seal these up. So I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem at all. Instrument panel. Again, not that you're going to see much down in here. It is a little bit basic. We don't have a decal for it or anything else like that, but a simple dry brush over that one, I think you'll be absolutely fine. Moving on to the wing section. So as you can see down in here, one piece complete under wing, slightly polished. There is a little bit of texture on this, so you are going to want to sand this just a little bit because it's a little bit gritty, lumpy bumpy. All right, so you want to just polish that up, I think, before you get going. But again, nicely engine. The cells are molded into it already, so that's quite nice. And then moving down here, cabin floor. No, it's not a bar of chocolate. It has actually the cabin floor, just the colour. The engines, yeah, there's a little bit of detail on the pots, but not much. But because of its scale, I think you're going to get away with it when it's buried in the engines with the cowls around it. And again, main gear area, tail wheel, tiny little tail wheel, tiny little air wheel. We've got the rudder pedals, lumps and bumps for it right the way over, and obviously the main gear. The outer tops of the wings, again, it has got this sort of gritty type surface to it. So literally I'll just pop around it with a sanding sponge just to, you know, take the edge off it a little bit. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you're going to come through with primer, then paint. You're going to end up with quite a rough finish right the way through. Generally though, very nicely molded. The recessed panel lining's pretty good. We've got raised, obviously, details coming through because we've got fabric covered ailerons down in here. So that's actually looking quite nice as well. Blind side of these, as you can see, pretty nice. You can always tell a good quality mold when it's nice and clean on the inside. But again, definitely I would run a sanding stick just around. There's a couple of little lumps just down in here, and obviously that's going to give you gaps when you try and glue this together. So make sure you've got it all cleaned up before you actually come in and commit to glue. And to be honest, I've got to swear this happened on some other kit of theirs. They do insist on bunging these in, and this isn't happened in the box. I think this happens in manufacturing. They chuck them into parts bins after they've been molded, and these little tabs down the back here which join onto the fuselage get broken off, and already this one's got a tiny bit where it's been bent completely round. This one here is not so bad, but it's just the trouble is you haven't got a sprue down in here to protect it from knocking on anything. So again, you can probably see it's lost one just down in here. So I would straighten them as best as you can, but just care needs to be taken on these. But personally, just put a sprue round here and then it will protect it through transit and handling and all the rest of it. But this has happened before. I'm not sure if it is a Valom kit or somebody else's, but definitely had a few problems with that one. Last up, we got the clear part just down in here. So we'll just pop in here. As you can see, a little bit thick, if I'm honest. The clear ones, no problem at all because they're nice and flat. As you can see, not too much going in, but they are a little bit thick for obviously the scale of this thing. We've got the observation area with the dome, astrodome on the top. And again, very much. But the clear part, as you can see, if we put the old thumb in here, it's, yeah, proper thick glass. Again, shame it's not a little bit thinner, but that's Valom for you. Generally, though, it's got nice crisp edges on the framing. So obviously, if you are coming in and masking this up, you can just do the old tape trick, rub it down and then cut it out afterwards, because they're actually quite clean and crisp and sharp on there. Again, with these little windows, the way that they go in, they don't have a beveled edge. So fitting them is going to be one of those of just pushing it in the hole. Personally, I think because of the size, probably you'll be pushing your luck to do the old PVA glue trick on this, because I don't think it's going to work. I think it's probably going to be cleaner to have these in than the other. So it may be worth doing the old trick of lining these in and putting clear behind it, clear acetate right the way behind it. So you know what I mean? You have them all in there and then it just glues down and onto it. So you can glue the clear acetate onto here, then these windows just push onto that, and then they obviously don't fall all the way through. So yeah, probably how I go about doing it, just like that. Generally though, I have to say, it's a great little kit. I think Valom sometimes gets completely overlooked. They brought out some beautiful small 70-second scale kits over the years. And again, I know Matt's built them, I've built them in the past, and they go together really, really nice. They have some very, very interesting subjects as well. So again, I think this one is another firm winner. So there we go. That's the Valom Avro Anson T21.